following the death of a former Sussex bishop who was jailed for abusing teenage boys. One of his alleged victims says it feels like he's got away with it again because Peter Ball leaves behind so many unanswered questions.
Yes, the former Bishop of Lewes, who died last week, aged 87, was imprisoned for abusing 18 teenagers and young men. Phil Johnson says he was also abused by him, although the charge was never proven. And he's warning the church not to be complacent about the impact of Ball's crimes on his victims. Amanda Acas has our report.
Peter Ball was a man who used the cloak of religion to prey on vulnerable young men and teenage boys. Now he's died at the age of 87. And campaigner Phil Johnson, an alleged victim of Peter Ball who was abused as a child by Church of England clergy, says his death leaves many questions unanswered.
I have very mixed feelings. I think it might give closure to some people and to some of the victims, but I suspect that for the majority it won't. I don't think we'll ever know the complete truth of everything that happened with Peter Ball and, you know, what has been covered up and what has been destroyed and lost. And with his passing, we may never know those things now. So in some ways it just feels like he's got away with it again.
A celebrated holy man, Peter Ball was once friends with the Prince of Wales. Bishop of Lewes between 1977 and 1992, he then became Bishop of Gloucester. He was jailed in October 2015 after pleading guilty to sex offences against 18 teenagers and young men between the 70s and 90s. Last month, a report from the Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse concluded the Church's response to the allegations, which first emerged in the early 90s, had been marked by secrecy.
Back in 1992, and even in the present day, to a certain extent, there was a culture of deference towards bishops and members of the church. We now realise that with subsequent scandals of child abuse, that church figures are not above suspicion and should be investigated when accused.
I would say to the church, yes, this is not a time to be complacent. You know, just because Peter Ball has passed and this is in the past, it doesn't mean that the consequences of it are for the victims and survivors who are living with that every day of their lives.
The Church of England say they'll continue to learn lessons from the case, and their prayers and thoughts are with everyone affected by this news.
Well, Amanda joins us now from Littlington, one of the places where Bishop Ball abused his victim. So, Amanda, what more has the church had to say tonight?
Well, they've told us that the bishop in charge of safeguarding issues in the Church of England will be in touch with all of those abused by Peter Ball. They say they're also supporting his family, as they would do for anyone bereaved in the church. Now, they tell us that they've actually implemented all of the recommendations made in an independent investigation held 2 years ago into their handling of the case. So things like giving more support to people when they report abuse, improved training and improved disciplinary processes. But for Phil Johnson and others, they're just hoping the lessons of this case will be learned in future.
Amanda, thank you.